some sketchy shit, sketchy shit, sketchy shit. It's time to do some sketchy shit in the fucking rain. Alright, welcome back to another episode of Why Are You Doing That? Well, here it is. So, I've already kind of put some other B-roll, whatever stuff together. I'm not a guy who does video things very often, so. That is a 454, 1997, give or take. Fuel injected, computer controlled, everything. I probably already showed this, but I've torn apart the valve covers, replaced the valve seals. Man, it's a rainy day and it's got me all messed up. Replaced the valve seals, swapped around an upside down valve spring. Changed the oil, ran this engine for quite a while, put on the bell housing thing for the Volvo 280. So, the reason this is going to be so sketchy is this is a fully dressed out engine. I am going to drain out most of the oil, mostly because I don't want to make a mess, not because I think oil's that heavy. I did drain out all the water, and I'm not going to drain out the coolant. Just because I don't think I need to. It's probably only about 2 gallons maybe max. So that's like 16 pounds. But the water was easy to drain because these Kodiak, which I don't know why they went out of business because these are freaking nice, as the 4 drains. Right there, easy peasy. Fun fact. If you're ever thinking about buying a tractor, buy the biggest tractor you possibly can afford. I know that you're going to want to save money like I did and buy a smaller tractor and be like, oh, this one's only $26,000, but the bigger one's $36,000. Well, that extra $10,000 would lift this, no problem. This tractor can lift this to about 8-10 inches off the ground. After that, it loses steam and can't go any higher. And I've already shimmed the hydraulics on this to the max, so there's no like, oh yeah, you just need more pressure, shim it up higher. So that ain't a real thing. But it was raining, so I did cover up the intake with a plastic bag. I had it tarped last night. Yeah. So the next thing I got to do is the other sketchy thing. There's my engine lift. So that easily held, I say easily, that held a 350 fully dressed with those things. That one probably weighs like 15 pounds. It's aluminum. This one weighs like 40, 50 pounds, something like that. It is not light. It is super not light. So I think just literally having the aluminum exhaust on there is going to take off like 50 pounds off of the engine. But it is a 454. It's an iron block. It's got an iron intake. I'm certain that it's probably at least a couple 100 pounds heavier. So I'm going to get my chain hoist, and I'm going to lift, and that chain's probably going to be too big. So I'm going to have to get a smaller chain because I need the extra 6 or so inches. Maybe. We'll see. But I'm going to lift that up about 10 inches off the ground, put a pan underneath of it, and drain all the oil. That way I don't make a mess when I install it, because this thing is going to have to go in like, and then like, and then like, you know, so it'll fit through the hole according to my measurements. It will not fit through the hole easily according to my measurements. So I don't want to make a mess. And we'll drain all the stuff out. And then I'm going to hang it for like half an hour while I drain out all the oil, because it didn't get warmed up. I wasn't going to work on a or try to move a hot engine. So, but it's just going to drain the oil. I'm going to keep it. It's got like 45 minutes to an hour on it, so it is still good, and I just changed it and everything, so I don't want to like just dump it into the ground, which, you know, that would be bad for the environment anyway. And if it holds up there, right there, 8 inches off the ground for half an hour, I feel like it'll hold 6 feet off the ground for an hour while I work on it and get it down into the boat. Non-destructive testing, right? So, all right, let me get this tractor out of the way, go get my chain hoist, get this chain wrapped around it, figure some stuff out, and then I'll show you what's going on. Just for reference, this log is what I used to get that engine with a crate attached to it out of the back of my truck. I feel like that spans further than the other one, but I ain't gonna measure it. So, and yeah, it's only a 1 ton, but that's 2,000 pounds, and a fully dressed out 454 can't weigh more than 1,000 pounds. That's not even halfway full. So let me get that down, maybe get that chain off there, and move over. So, all right, well, she's hanging. Right now I'm just draining 5-ish quarts out of the pan so that it limits it to, I think it's like a 7 or 8 quart pan. I don't even remember. So I'm gonna drain out as much oil as this container will hold, and just give it a few minutes. So right now she's dangling, like I said, about 8 to 10 inches above the ground. You know, it's holding and doesn't even really, I mean, it looks sketchy. It looks sketchy as heck. So, but that's the thing. Ratchet strap is mostly just kind of angle the engine over so that oil can drain out a little bit better. I probably will throw another ratchet strap on it as well once I get it all the way up. That way it's got a couple of things holding it in case there's any sort of sketchy thing that happens with the chains. The ratchet straps will kind of be like a secondary holding thing. And I think those are 5,000 pound straps, so I ain't worried about them breaking. But I'm gonna let this sit here for a little while. I'm gonna listen for creaks and groans, and just maybe pray a little bit more. I don't know. We'll see. So I definitely need to get me one of them big like A-frame chain lift hoist things that roll around and stuff, but most of my driveway's gravel, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. So we'll see. All right, well, the engine hung for a solid hour while I got other things taken care of. Looks like it's gonna clear by an inch or so, and I think I got an inch or two up there, so I'll back this up just a little bit longer, farther, and I'll see if it clears. Look at that. All the room in the world. Like 4 inches. Perfect. Alright, back it up a little bit more, and then start trying to get this thing in here. Alright. I ain't gonna lie, my heart's racing. Whew. You guys can't even see it. Alright, so looks like I'm gonna have like just enough room. I might try to back up just a hair more, but I think I can start lowering it down and going from there. I'll see if I can't find a tripod. Maybe you guys could watch me struggle. Alright, let's see what happens. well, hate to say it, but I don't have a tripod. All those professional videographer people who do all the perfect, awesome things, good for them. So we will squeak by on this side, and we will have to angle this side down first to get it in. I might be able to rotate it into a corner and squeeze it in that way, but one way or the other, we're going to be a super tight hole. So hopefully I can do something so you guys can watch me work, but it's probably not going to happen. So just hopefully just deal. So yeah, well, close enough tripod. So might not be the best angle, but at least you'll see something. I think it's gonna clear. Honestly, I mean, it's going in crooked, but I'm probably gonna mess up my tripod here, but check out, oh shoot, you can't see nothing. Okay. Woof. It's gonna just barely clear. Those are soft lines, I ain't worried about those. So, and once I get it down, I can rotate it so that the exhaust is kind of clear. So, alright, let's see if I can get you guys better situated. Nope. Well, fuck, I'm the best cameraman ever. Well, fuck it, maybe I'll just hold it in my hand. I'm catching right here, but that is, oh, she just cleared. Yep. And it's clearing in there. And once that's fully cleared, and I can hopefully, nope, maybe not. Okay, well, move down a little bit further. Okay. All right, now I'm down. Let's see if I can't rotate the engine. Oh, there she goes. Oof. Man, I knew this was gonna be tight, but what I got, about an inch, about 3 inches, 2 inches, 2 inches, an inch maybe with the dipstick there. So, man, any of y'all do this. I hope your boat's bigger than this one, or at least the hatch is bigger than this one. Once I get it down in there, I'm gonna have to rotate it into place, because this is not a transverse mount engine location thing. That side has got to be pointing that way, but this engine is definitely 100%. Oof, oh, I'm hitting on something down here. There's my dipstick. Getting closer. All right, we're in there. Let's see if she'll rotate. Come on, rotate around. Okay. All right, I'm about to put the phone down and see what's going on, because I'm bumping something and I don't know what it is yet. So, all right, hold on. All right, so we're getting there. So that has to go in that hole. You could barely see the light coming through. I'm gonna have very little room there, and I'm thinking I might have to back the truck up now that it's in there, so the whole engine kind of goes further that way. Maybe hopefully not hit that firewall or whatever wall it is, bulkhead, and go from there. But let me shimmy and shake. So nothing fancy with this. Literally, I'm just going to be pushing the engine sideways. I'm trying not to push down on it, because again, it's still being held up by that log. So crossing my fingers. So just give me a few. So here's where we're at. That's got to go in the hole way down there. You can see the light. So that has to go out, down, and in. Working on trying to get enough room back here. I'm gonna have to back the truck up a little bit. You can see my chain is angled. So I'm gonna back the truck up, about a foot or so. And then I'm going to use these ratchet straps to hold the back of the engine up while dropping the front of the engine down, hopefully. I'm really hoping I don't have to like completely invert the engine like this, but if I had to do what I gotta do. So you're probably asking yourself, why did I put that on beforehand? Well, I've installed a smaller engine, a 350, on that while it was in here, and that was about 6,000 times harder than just putting it on beforehand and then just kind of. So being that this engine's about 4 inches bigger in every direction, maybe that's why I'm having such a problem with it today. But I'm gonna keep going at it, go back the truck up, and see what we can get done. So bear with me. Okay, I backed the truck up. The engine is literally almost, it's actually touching the bulkhead, fuel tanks, and stuff on that side. And I'm just gonna clear, just barely. In fact, I gotta push on the valve cover here so I can't see it. There it goes. And she is in the fucking hole. Oh my gosh. Hold on. Yeah. Hopefully you guys can see that. That was a pain. That was a pain. All right. Now that it's in the hole, now I gotta bring the truck forward so that it goes out, and then I can align everything else. So let me make sure there's nothing getting caught up back over here, so I'm not ripping stuff out of the wall. I'd really hate to replace a bunch of water tanks and stuff. And we'll go from there. So fun. Fuck, I'm tired. Well, wouldn't you fucking know it? Hey, outdrive lift, not a tilt trim, but tilt, I guess. I don't know. Lift is right here. Oil filters are right here. They hit before that finishes getting in where it's supposed to go. And as much as I would love to not have to worry about this, this can easily be removed with these 3 screws. Take them off there, mount them to, I don't know, somewhere else. Maybe I'll mount them to the wall there or something just to get them out of the way. They're just flexible oil lines. So that's frustrating, but it ain't the end of the world. And if that's the only problem I have to worry about today, then I'm going to feel really, really lucky. So let me get that moved, or at least removed for right now, and then I'll worry about the other things later. It's in. Got it in the hole. I'll figure out the oil filters later. Chances are they'll just go on the firewall there. It's sitting on the stringers. It's not bolted down yet. So what I'm going to do now is get the ring, the seal ring that goes on the outside. It's got six 6-inch bolts or something. I'll show you in a second. I'm going to get those in there and started. And then I'm going to lift the engine, because right now, I mean, it's got tension on it, but it's not lifted. It's sitting. And then I'm going to lift the engine just a hair, shimmy, and then slowly tighten those, and then loosen that and allow the engine to slide that way and seal that big giant ring. And then once that's done, then motor mounts. Because I'm drilling new holes for those. I don't want to drill the holes off. I also need to make sure the engine's aligned straight and everything is where it's supposed to be. So then I can work on wiring and plumbing and exhaust and everything else that needs to happen to make this thing run. But that was, oh man, that was physical. It's about 85 degrees outside and it rained for like 4 hours this morning, so the humidity is like 99%. I'm dying right now. In fact, hydrate. So, all right, let me get you updated once I get some more parts and things moving. All right, cool. So this is that ring I was saying. Oh, there goes my bolt. So it's got these 6 bolts, pretty long. They go in and up and around there. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sure, close enough. Looks like that one has some dirt in it. I'm gonna have to get that cleaned out real quick. So one thing I like about the Volvos is that you got these 2 giant rubber rings that hold the seal in around there. I mean, that is like big and bulky and massive, and I don't know, I kind of like it. So let me get this put in here and get it just kind of barely started. I don't want to tighten it down yet because I want to make sure the engine is perfectly straight and everything is 100% lined up before I start like cranking on these bolts. So I'll get from there. All right, well, you guys aren't gonna be able to see this because I'm using my phone, but I used an app called Bubble Level. It's got an ad or 2 in it. No big deal. It works great. I set my phone on this bottom edge that you can't see because I'm using my phone to film this. On here, found that this side is higher. It is 4.6 degrees, which is whatever because the boat's not level. It's literally just sitting on the truck right now, which is sitting on the dirt, which is sitting under an awning, whatever, doesn't matter. So, but what I'm really looking for is it level to the boat. Not really worried about it being level to the ground right now. So 4.6 degrees to here. And then I came down here and I put it on this stringer. And putting it on the stringer, I think I got like 2.4 degrees. So that means that my motor mounts need to come up a little bit to make everything even. So, because if I can get this number to match that number, that's probably about as straight as I'm going to get. Then I'm going to measure side to side. See, this is barely sitting right on the edge of the inside of the stringer there. I haven't even looked at the other side because it was hard to get in here with a 350, with a 454. Let's just say I suck it in, and we'll just leave it at that. So, but I'll measure side to side, make sure that I'm as close to center as possible, and then once I get this level, get the bolts on the inside of that ring that is down there tightened, sucked forward, then I'll drill some holes for motor mounts and bolt this thing down. I think at that point I can move on to plumbing and electrical. Nothing super crazy, nothing super fancy. I'm sure most people say you're supposed to have the engine being angled up just a little bit so that your, oil drains back a little bit. Right now, this side's high, but again, I don't even know which way the boat is as far as level goes. So I'm just gonna level it with the stringer. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's pretty much what I did with the old 350, and it worked for a long time till it blew up. So I don't think that the engine being level had anything to do with me popping a head gasket. So we'll see. But let me go get that done. It looks like I'm gonna have to get a 15/16, 1 inch. Oh, hey, look, there's my marine sealant. Or something. So, and I'll need a wrench to open in because there's another nut up underneath it here. If you're doing this, your engine may be completely different. You may have completely different motor mounts. I have no clue. But these ones are highly adjustable. You see I've got about 1.5 inches up I could go. I doubt I'm going to have to go up that high. But 1.5 inches up. And they can turn side to side. I'm going to leave mine this way. Just straighten them out a little bit. And you can actually see where my old motor mounts were. That's where the 350 had. The motor mounts was like those 4 bolts over there. So I'm trying to get you guys at least a little bit of a idea, but the phone's in my face right here. This is my point of view. I can't really see much more than you can. So that's that. I don't know why people work on boats. We're gluttons for punishment. So let me go get to work. Have I mentioned it's hot outside? I don't know if I've mentioned that enough times today. All right. I raised both of the engine mounts up. So I am within about a 0.5 degree difference between the top of the engine and the stringers. Or the motor mount bar place things, whatever they are. And of course, this is all super scientific, and really just getting it as close as I possibly can is better than not getting it close at all and then wondering if that was the problem. So now that that's done, I put some tension on there. The ratchet strap on the other side is just kind of holding that side up just a hair. It's still dragging on the stringers, but it's not like, you know, all the way off. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tighten up these bolts in here. These right here. So, and this ratchet will do about 35 foot-pounds total. So all right, now I'm going to go back through these and just give it some German specs, some good and tights. I could see that first 1 or 2 that I tightened, it's already loose. So I'm going to go back through and make sure these are all tight, suck these all up. That's going to pull the engine as far towards me right now as it possibly can and seal up those 2 rings all the way. And once that's good and sealed and totally sucked in, then I'm going to make sure that the engine is still straight. I measured it with my fingertips. 1/2 fingertip on each side is even. So like the motor mounts are even and good enough. And then I'm going to drill some holes and mount those motor mounts and then move on with the next step. I'll probably end this video right now because you really don't need to see me drill holes in the bottom of the boat and put bolts in it. That's not really a big deal. I think the big takeaway here is that, you know, if you have a 350 in your boat and you want to put a 454 in your boat, be prepared to struggle. That's it. Just be prepared. Maybe you're lucky and you have big, giant, open area with tons of space and no issues at all, and you've got like an A-frame lift and all the other stuff, and it's great. But for those of us that don't, be prepared to struggle. So let me get these mounted and done and everything, and then I'll move on to the next step in this this engine install, which will probably be the plumbing and the electrical, and maybe bring you along for the first startup. That'd be cool.